Hey folks, this episode has some audio issues because Skype is a jerk face. So, apologies that our dear Kristen gets a little glitchy. Just pretend she's in a video game and we'll have a good time.
There you go. Last week I was in a cave by myself.
Yep.
This week you can't hear me.
Good job, Skype.
Welcome back to the show, fangirls and fanboys. It is episode 68 of the Electric Fan Cave on electricpeace.com. Kristen Latterell here, along with the beautiful Corrigan Vaughn, bringing you the most important pop culture news currently on the wire. That means we are going to talk about what movies you love but for some reason don't own, Snafu bringing his A-game in Mr. Robot, Corey's continued brush with famous people, casting news for Agent Carter Season 2, and the Rocky spin-off movie we've never heard of. So no, we will not wait to take the high ground. We are starting this episode right now.
Yeah! Lovely.
How's it going, Corey?
It's going pretty well, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a little tired, and I have to drive to San Francisco this evening, so I'm trying to be strategic in thinking about naps. Where I can potentially place a nap in the middle of my day, because it's gonna be a late one. I'm picking up our comics correspondent Mac, and we're driving up to go to the Image Expo for Image Comics in San Francisco tomorrow. So it should be a good time. You know, if you're into that kind of thing, follow my Twitter, follow my Periscope. I'm gonna try to Periscope.
What's Periscope?
Periscope, I feel like I want to say that we talked about this when Avery was here, because Avery's the kind of person we would talk about this with, but maybe not. Anyway,
I mean, you Periscope might have, but that was a long time ago, so there's no way I remember what that is.
It's a live streaming app.
Ooh. Hey, Magoo, you're wet. You can't be in. The dog is wet, and he wants to come in.
There was a moment I forgot you had a dog, and I just thought you were yelling at a person like that. You're wet. You can't come in here. Wow, Kristen.
He goes in the pool, and then he, cries at the back door because he wants to come inside. And I'm like, excuse me, you are, dripping. You're not coming in here.
Does he just go swimming by himself?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
It's also really hot here, which I've forgotten since the last time I was here. And I feel like I've been here only in the winter.
Right.
Obviously, because it's been winter, so
it's
true.
Hot. It makes sense. No, I was
today.
Thinking about that, and I was like, I cannot forget my swimsuit this time, because I will die a painful death at your place if I can't just stand in the pool
in the water. Yeah It's pretty hot, and it's kind of muggy or something. I don't know, it looks like it's gonna rain. I don't know what's going on.
Interesting.
I don't know what state we're in. I mean, I live in California, people.
Yeah, come on. We don't have water in the air. That's not a thing.
This isn't what I signed up for, okay? We're in a drought, so get it together, weather. I know we need the rain. That was too soon. I'm sorry.
It's the opposite of that. Anyways, Periscope.
To San Francisco.
Periscope is a live streaming app.
Yeah.
And it's through Twitter. And it's weird. It's a strange thing, because so I downloaded it on my phone, and you'll get notifications when people you're following are streaming. So it'll be Jen Kirkman. I follow her, for example, and she'll just be sitting on her car, talking to the live stream, and here's where she is. Yeah, it's a video. Yeah.
Oh.
And so you can do whatever, or yesterday I watched Chris Hardwick live streaming from an Ant-Man screening, and he's with Paul Rudd and Michael Pena in a car, and so he's just in a limo with Paul Rudd and Michael Pena, and I'm this is such a weird thing to be able to sit and watch.
Yeah, and it's okay, wait, but then how long can you record for?
You can record, I think, indefinitely, essentially. There's no, time limit, but it's sort of like Snapchat in that people can only view it for the 24 hours after you post it. So then it's not like a YouTube video, it's just, that's it. That was, I mean, I'm sure there's ways you can save it and whatnot, but that's kind of part of the charm of this app, is this really live viewing experience of, this is happening while you watch it, I watched William Shatner give an impromptu speech yesterday, too. That was exciting.
Yes, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to figure out how to use it at Image Expo if I see anything interesting. So if you follow me on Periscope, my name is Nerds Rocket, of course. But yeah, So that's my life. How about you, laddie?
I have a couple days off from work,
Yeah!
which is delightful.
Yeah.
So I'm at my parents' house because they always have a big 4th of July party, so I thought I'd come out early and hang out with the fam bam for a little bit. And then we also have a big 4th, which is, like, probably my favorite holiday, which is, like, weird. Not because I, like, love... I mean, I do... Okay. That's not not because I, love America. I mean, I do love America, but it's, like...
But, like,
it's not because I'm, like,
holiday.
super patriotic, but I love it because you sit by the pool and eat and hang out and play games, and it's just fun.
Yeah, and then you get to see explosions in the sky.
Yeah, and I love... My favorite thing about fireworks is, like, when you can, like, feel them in your chest.
Yeah.
So I don't like it's like, one year my parents took me, we went to this other fireworks show, and it was, like, really far away, and I was like, this is pointless. I want to, like, feel the boom. So, that's, like, one of my favorite things in the whole world, so I'm really excited, and the whole family's always here, and friends, and random, like, people I don't see a lot always show up, and so...
Yeah.
So it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. I'm gonna do that, and then today's my sister-in-law's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, sister-in-law.
It's also the first day of the Battle of Gettysburg. Fun fact.
Indeed.
So if you got that little note from the intro, that is what I was talking about.
Fun fact, this is the beginning of a time in which many people died. Many of them.
Fireside chats.
Yes.
Well, back in 1863.
I wanted to, like, make some good, like, Ken Burnsy music to go along with that, but, like, it's not really a thing I could, like, hum.
No, you can't. Well, it's funny because last night we had the Leap Second yesterday?
Yeah, I know.
And so I was telling this one girl about Leap Second, and then we were talking about, I was showing her on the timeline article that was like, you know, I was like, oh, and so it's all this thing about, you know, the reason they had to have universal time was because trains, and then this whole thing. And I, like, am telling this whole, then I start talking about Greenwich Mean Time, and I just watch her eyes kind of start to glaze. And I'm like, I've completely lost you, haven't I? And she's like, oh, no, I'm not really following you. I'm like, it happens a lot. You can walk away from me now. It's fine.
Like, this story should have ended 15 minutes ago. I apologize.
Know, right? And then earlier I'd been talking with this other girl, Sydney, and we were joking about, you know, sometimes you're talking with people and they, like, kind of walk away and you're just left standing there by yourself.
That's
kind of
the worst.
Which, like, happens to me kind of a lot, probably because I talk about Greenwich Mean Time at parties, which is not a party topic.
Yeah, I guess not.
And so she's, like, looking at me, you know, and she gets that look, and I, like, gave her permission. I'm like, you know what, you can just walk away now. Yeah. It's okay. And she was like, no, it's fine. I'm like, no, really? I can tell. Like, I am not that socially awkward where I can't tell where I've completely bored someone to death.
Yeah, because both ends of that confuse the heck out of me. Both the, like, people who can't read when, like, you've glazed, you know, like, I'm like, once, like, I'm, like, out of it, how do you not go, like, let's see how I can change the subject? Because I will, like, desperately try to figure out what else I can talk about if I start seeing that on someone. But then the people who walk away, too. Like,
I'm like, I know, I'm sorry.
Like, why don't you change the subject
for
then?
all of this. All of the time.
Or at least, like, say
something. When he's like, you just pointed to all of me.
Exactly. Like, or at least, you know, say something, like, make a good, like, reason you're gonna leave. But, you know...
Oh, I have to go just come kiss someone neck in my... Yeah. Anyway. So...
Exactly. But,
parties are hard, you guys.
Parties
That's why I am a firm believer in the Irish exit.
Mm-hmm. True story. That's my MO. I did that recently, and I was pretty proud of myself. This, like, pieced out of a party and was like, nobody will ever know. And really they don't.
Yeah.
You know? Although I went to a wedding the other night, and I was, like, waiting for, like, the, like, big, like, okay, so are we all gonna, like, line up and, like, light sparklers, or, I don't know, like, so I didn't want to, like, leave, because these are a couple of my best friends, you know, I'm not gonna be, like, peace out, gangsta. And, like, so I'm, like, standing outside or whatever, and then, like, the car pulls up, like, a really nice car, and they just, like, get in, and they're like, see ya, and they left. I was like, they Irish exited their own wedding. That's amazing.
Yeah, they're my heroes.
So good. Monique and Andrew, well played. So well played.
Well played.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I had an interesting experience this weekend before we get into things.
Yes,
BTW.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Because I'll have to tell you, I did have to IMDb this person. I did not know who they were.
Oh my goodness. So, I went with a whole crew of people to go see Hannibal Burress do stand-up at the Arlington, which is this cool theater, like historic theater here in Santa Barbara that unfortunately does not have air conditioning, so it's really hot. that's beside the point. I went and saw Hannibal Burress. And it's a fun show. It's super cool. He like opens like there's like another comic, and then there's like a rap guy in the middle, and then Hannibal Burress
like a
rapper,
like a concert,
like a mini one. Like it's just one guy like sort of with his own little like setup.
Funny rap.
Yeah, it was like regular style.
Oh
yeah, it was like
I've never experienced that.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was like, okay, I'm down. This is cool. And so he did that, and then Hannibal Burress comes out, and he does his thing, and then, like, at the end of it, he's just suddenly is like, ballerinas! And, like, ballerinas come out, and they do, like, this other thing, and, you know, it was a lot of fun.
Like a variety show.
Yeah, exactly. It felt like a cool
You're, like, on the Dean Martin show.
Yeah. So I was super, super into this. And then afterwards, I was like, well, it's still super early, because the show started at 7, so it was, like, at latest 9 when we got out of there. I think it may have even been earlier than that.
Effective timing.
I know.
Seem to cram a lot of things into that.
Yeah, I love that. I am such a fan of effectively run shows. And so we leave, and Danny's like, well, there's this bar over here we can go hang out at. And I walked in, at first I was like, I don't know about this. Like, it was a little bit, not crowded, but it was small, and there were only 2 bartenders, and the bar was full. So it was like they were taking forever, because it's got a place that, like, makes really, like, fancy drinks and whatnot.
They put, like, orange peels on stuff.
Yeah, and I'm like, stop that. For one thing, I'm allergic to oranges, so stop trying to put orange on my stuff.
Yeah. Damn you, oranges.
Yeah, it was just, you know, I was like, okay. But I was like, all right, this is fine. We can do this. So we're sitting there.
They also wear suspenders and bow ties.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely.
Oh, gosh, I hate this place already. Keep going with your story.
So we're sitting there, and, like, you know, it's like Keo and Danny are, like, sort of towards the window, and, like, Keo turns around, and he's like, hey, there's Hannibal Burress. And I'm like, what? What's going on? And then it's like, I think they're coming here. And all of a sudden, like, his posse, like the rap guy and the opening comic guy and all that, they come in. And the ballerinas. The ballerinas stayed outside in very warm clothing, despite the fact that it was pretty warm out. But, you know, they're ballerinas and they have no body fat. So they sat out there and shivered in, like, those water polo jackets. But Hannibal Burress's homies come in, and I'm like, what? And so, like, I, like, lean over, and I'm like, hey, great show tonight, you know? And
wait, was he also there?
Yeah, he was there.
Okay, so did you say that to him or to his homies?
I said that to him. I was like, oh, hey, great show tonight. And he's got really small eyes, and he was like, oh, thank you. And I was like, okay.
A French Stewart?
Like, basically, but, like, real life. Because doesn't French Stewart actually open his eyes in real life?
I have no idea.
I think he kind of does.
I've seen him in 2 things. I've seen him in Third Rock from the Sun.
Obviously.
And then I've seen Jimmy Fallon play him on SNL. Those are my only knowledgeable things about him.
He has been in some other things from time to time. Maybe you've seen him and you didn't recognize him because his eyes were open.
Maybe.
But, like, Hannibal Burress's eyes are, like, super closed. And so I, like, said that, and I was like, yeah, whatever, though. Like, I don't really want to bother them in this small bar and be like, hey, let me go up and fangirl or whatever.
Yeah.
But I went up to go get a drink at the bar, and they're like I said, it was kind of crowded. And so I was, like, trying to squeeze between people and ended up squeezing between, like, the opening rap guy and this other person. And then the other person, like, leaves, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to squeeze you out. And I turned, and I'm like, oh, my God, I'm so in anybody's way. And the guy's name was Open Mike Eagle. And he turns and he's like, no, you're not in anybody's way. Everybody wants to get out of the way for you because you're lovely. And I was like, all right then. And so I, like, sat down.
In that case, I'll have another.
Yeah. So I sat down and I started talking to him, and this place takes forever. So I'm sitting there for like 15 minutes, you know, and then I go and I, like, pay for my drink, and he's like, I was going to pay for that. And I was like, oh, too slow, you know. And so I go back to the table, and then later I go to get another drink, and I'm like, and I'm back again. So we end up talking, and then I start talking to some of the other folks with him, including, like, there's a girl with him. She's, like, sitting there, and I'm like, where did you get your lipstick? She's like, oh, it's a stain. And so we start talking about the lip stain that she has, and it's, like, old. The bottle is, like, super old, and, like, you can't even read what it says on it anymore. And she's like, it's Maybelline. She's like, the thing is, like, they discontinued it. And I'm like, oh, that is the worst. Like, you have to buy, like, 10 bottles of, like, anything you like because, you know, they're going to discontinue it. And And so I like go and I sit down, and a little later I end up chatting with him again, and he's sitting there and he's tweeting. He's like, "Oh, I'm writing a tweet inspired by you." I'm like, "Oh yeah," and he's like, "Here, you can see it." And he hands me his phone. It says, "Capitalism means your favorite thing was just discontinued." I was like, awesome. That is exactly right. So
that's fun.
Yeah, it was super fun. Hannibal Burress actually was like super quiet the whole time anyway. He was just sort of sitting there taking it in. People were talking around him. Yeah, he was probably exhausted. But I just thought that was a pretty really fun thing. So that was my
when you first said
Friday.
Hannibal Burress, I thought I got him confused with Titus Burgess from...
Oh. That would have been an entirely different experience, I bet.
Schmidt. So I was like, that's... and then I'm like, every time you kept saying, I'm like, I feel like that's not his name, though. And then I looked, I'm like, well, it's kind of his name. Burgess and Burress are sort of the same.
Yeah, they are. So they're both bald black men.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
So I didn't give you a lot to work with.
But then I was sad because I didn't really know who he was. So I thought, but I'm so excited for you because it does sound like a fun night.
Well, you should be watching Broad City, for one thing.
Oh, that's right. You always yell at me for that. Is he in that, or does he write for that?
He's in that.
He's a writer too, right?
Yeah, he wrote for 30 Rock and things like that as well. So, but yeah, he's in Broad City, and he's like my favorite character. So, you know, it was like immediate that I would like. He's just one of those like lovable, endearing characters that I put out on Facebook. Like, hey, this is happening. I found a group on. Anyone want to go? And it was like immediately 10 people were in. Like, all right, let's do this. I was like, oh, literally everybody I know in this entire town is coming with me to this show.
Nice.
So yeah, it was fun.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, shall we move on?
Yeah. I didn't do anything that cool, so I don't have any cool stories to share on that front other than boring people about Greenwich Mean Time. But we did have kind of a fun question. If you guys remember last week, our question, I cannot honestly remember now what our question was. We had a question that we asked you. But this week, we had a question also.
We talked about it for a long time, whatever last week's question was.
Miserable transition. The question that Corey had kind of posed was, what's your favorite movie that for some reason you do not own? Yeah. And so, Corey, you had said Meet the Robinsons, which is a great movie, by the way.
Love
the end of that movie was like, this is one of those movies where I guess it's not really like a huge, like, but it was enough of a twist where I'm like, oh, I wish I could rewatch this movie and forget how it ended so I could be surprised every day.
Right? Know? And it was one of those movies that, like, this happens from time to time. This happened with Kent and I going to see Zathura. And this was Emily and I going and seeing Meet the Robinsons. Both these were at the Dollar Theater. And it was like a thing that I don't even know why we went, where it was just kind of like, it was something to do. Maybe there was nothing else playing.
You're poor and you didn't have anything else,
we're just like, let's go to the Dollar Theater. What's playing? Meet the Robinsons? Sure, I'm not even sure I know what that is. And we went and we came out of it and we were like,
it was so good.
It's so amazing. So I, like I said on the thing, I own the soundtrack and everything, and listen to it regularly. I watch it every time it's on TV, and it's on Disney Channel a fair amount, you know, but I should own it because I want to watch it all the time. Yeah. So this is sort of, I was listening to the soundtrack, and that's what spawned this question.
Yeah. I actually really liked this question because it wasn't, these movies are like, I'm gonna call them, they're just like the good fun movies that you love. There's, I mean, nobody put on here
like Schindler's List.
Yeah, you know, Crash. I'm like, what? No, they all put like these really, like Kat Warren put Secondhand Lions. I was like, I love Secondhand Lions. I actually think you've made fun of me for loving Secondhand Lions.
I definitely have 110%. Yeah, and that's what's
like, all of these. I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
so good.
It's so great because it really is, I think, because that's the thing is I feel like when it is those heavier movies and stuff like that, you buy them, you put them on your shelf, whatever, and you don't even watch them. You just own them. Yeah. But these are all the movies that it's like, we would watch these constantly, and they're just our favorite, fun,
so good
respite from everything. Although I do think there is something to, like, those movies that you only get to watch on TV when they come on, and just, like, you're like, I feel like it's like I worked for it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm watching all the commercials.
I waited long enough for it to come back around.
Yeah, it's been years, so,
And then if you watch it on DVD, it's almost like watching the extended version, because if they've cut it for TV, you're like, I remember this scene. I've never seen it before because I've only seen this movie on TV.
That's like, there are movies, man, that should be another one that I, like, pose another week. What movie have you only seen on TV, or had you only seen on TV and you were surprised by when you watched it later? Because there are movies, like, I've only ever seen The River Wild on TV.
Ooh.
And like, but I've seen it on TV probably 20 times because every time it's on, I will watch it. But I've only ever seen it on TV. I'm like, there's probably stuff in there that I have legitimately never seen in that movie. Someone would reference it and I'd be like,
have we seen the same movie?
Yeah. Kingsman, the edited version of Kingsman that they show on airplanes or whatever, and I assume that they will eventually show on FX. Mm-hmm. Not the same movie.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
As regular Kingsman.
Oh, now I really want to see it. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, so anyways, let's look at what some people said here.
Yeah.
There was a lot of comments. People were really into this.
People were into this question.
And it wasn't even...
I don't think I ever made my own response. I just responded to what other people said because I was like so excited by their answers. I was like, this one! I love this one!
Yeah, so let's see. We started that with Laura, who said Empire Records. I know. Same here. And I know that movie by heart. Yeah. So, and the soundtrack and everything. Like, I even can say lines from it and then, like, go into what song starts playing in the background of it. But I don't own it. Cat, Secondhand Lions.
So good. Chelsea, Jurassic Park.
Wait, where's that? Oh, you're...
Right above you. Right above Cat, Chelsea.
I think our things show up in different order, but that's fine. Chelsea said
this will be exciting.
Park. Yeah, this is fun. Phil said Pulp Fiction. Mm-hmm. I like the reason. Every time over the years I've nearly bought it, I didn't because I'd watched it too recently. Like, okay.
I'll give it to you.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah. David Marley said Bedazzled.
That one I just
That's
loved.
out of left field.
So unlike him,
yeah.
I felt like. Or maybe not. I don't know.
It's just, I mean, Bedazzled it's just one of those movies that I just don't even really think about. And so, I mean, and that's why this question is so fun, too, is that it's stuff that, like, I have not thought about in years. Like, I saw it once, or I remember it being in theaters, but...
I remember the trailer vaguely.
Yeah, and for someone, this is, like, their favorite thing, that they're like, why don't I own this? So Bedazzled, for me, I'm like, huh. Really? Okay.
Yeah, classic.
I can accept that. Ryan says Lion King.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
classic.
Good. I'm pretty sure I have that.
Yeah, Danielle did Death Becomes Her and True Romance. I had totally forgotten about Death Becomes Her, and I was like, yes!
I know!
I remember I saw that movie in Palm Springs.
It's, like, memorable enough that you remember exactly where you were.
Well, and I remember the poster was, what's-his-face, with, like, his hand through Goldie Hawn's, like, the hole in her stomach or something.
Oh, I do not remember that poster.
I think that was what it was. Either that or remembering something else. I'm pretty sure that's it.
That sounds intense.
Whatever. Anyway.
Okay, I'll accept it. Yeah, those are fun ones, and I love True Romance as well. Mm-hmm. Although that's one that for some reason, like, I really loved when I saw it, which was probably my, like, junior, senior year in high school. And then, like, it does come on TV occasionally, and I'll watch, like, 15 minutes of it and turn it off. So maybe I don't like it as much as I think I do. I don't know.
Oh, good thing you don't own it. I
guess. Good thing I don't own that movie.
Jason wins bonus points with Better Off Dead. That one is one of my favorites.
Yeah, that is an absolute classic.
Classic. And then I think also another classic on that one is One Crazy Summer. Have you seen that one?
No, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Okay, it's basically like the sequel to Better Off Dead.
So like it's an actual sequel, or it just is so similar?
It's just like all of the same. Yeah. It's like the same ridiculousness, like the weird animation happening, and like, you know, funky characters, and it's still John Cusack and Demi Moore is in it. It's just really fun. So you should also check that one out, Jason, if you haven't seen that one. But
I feel like Jason's probably seen it, but I want to check it out now.
You should check it out. It's one of my faves. Yeah. One of my faves.
Jason was there for the 80s, so, you know.
Yeah, so he probably
saw it. Hillary says, When Harry Met Sally. This I just have to talk about.
I actually remember this story, but tell us.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's like worn out as a story so much. As like, she hadn't seen it. And this is my roommate from Oregon. Or my roommate in Oregon, not from Oregon. And she discovered this movie on like a VHS copy that another of my roommates had, and she watched it, and she like watched it every day. Every day. It was just like her therapeutic, relaxing thing was to sit down and watch When Harry Met Sally. And so we had a Christmas gift exchange in our apartment, and I bought her the DVD of it, and she was so excited, and she just kept watching it like every single day, and it was great. And I can't judge because also me and another roommate, Emily, and our friend Andy would watch Waiting for Guffman twice a week. So I'm like, when you find that thing, you just
I spent an entire spring break just only watching Remember the Titans.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And it was VHS, so that's like a while. Yeah, you have to like watch it, and you have to rewind it,
the whole thing.
And then you gotta watch it again. So.
Yeah. Or there was the summer that I watched Bend It Like Beckham every day for a month. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes you get in the mode and you're like, this is just exactly what I need. It calms me, which I think is also one of these things that a lot of these movies do. It's just like, it's just what you need.
What you need.
Yeah, so When Harry Met Sally, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. Tom, of course, comes in with old school Clint. Escape from Alcatraz. Yep.
It's a good one. Danny, well. Fast and Furious, any of them. I was like,
yeah. Dude. I love that he says...
we know you feel you on that one. Danny.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I love that he says, I'll watch any of the movies whenever they air on TV. Twice, if it's on twice in the same day. I have definitely done that. And just like, oh, I just watched this Fast and the Furious movie, but it's starting over.
So, I'm going to go ahead and watch it again.
Why not? Or like the thing where it's like they're playing a marathon of them, or they're just playing 2 of them. Like, I find it's usually like they play 4 and 5, or something like that. And so I'll watch 4, and then I'll watch 5, and then 4 starts again, and I'm like, yeah, I could do it again.
Or sometimes you came on like halfway through 4, and you're like, oh good, it's starting again, I'm going to watch it from the beginning, and then you just watch it all the way through.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we're with you, Danny.
We're with you, Danny.
We do the same.
Oh, Chris also gets gold stars for the Robin Hood, the cartoon one, which I love that one, mainly because Roger Miller does a theme song, and I'm a big sucker for Roger Miller, because I'm also 90 years old.
Like, what? Really? Oh,
okay. Saying.
Okay.
I like it. So
I will allow it.
I also love those old Disney movies because all of the voice actors did all of the movies,
Right. That's true.
So it's like Little John was Baloo, but he was also in 17 other Disney movies. I don't know,
And have you ever seen those things, like, this is one of those things I always find when I'm on, like, a cracked.com spiral or whatever, but where they, like, reuse animation from each of the old movies, too. So, like, there's always a dance scene that's, like, the exact same dance scene, and they're doing, like, the same moves. So you can they just basically take the same, like, skeleton of a frame.
Yeah.
And then draw, like, the costumes of these characters, whatever the character's supposed to be in this movie, on it. And so you see that happen through, like, all the old Disney movies. I'll have to find one of those lists and show it to you because it's pretty entertaining. Yeah, they definitely have a feel, Right. It's like each era of Disney has a feel.
Totally.
And there's something fun about that. So, Robin Hood wins points, Chris.
Love that.
Good job.
Lindsay said The Apartment.
I can't even remember. Oh, see, she did tell that because I'm like, I don't remember what that is. But then she said it's a comedy. Billy Wilder directed, Shirley MacLaine and Jack Lemmon. That sounds like a super winner to me.
Yeah. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, so I obviously need to remedy that. I don't know, maybe I have seen it and I just don't remember, but that sounds amazing. So I will check that out.
Duncan cheated. He said Mad Max Fury Road. None of us own that one, Duncan.
That's not fair. I asked a very specific question and you answered it wrong. One job, Duncan.
One job.
One job.
But it's okay. That is a great movie, so
yeah.
Fine.
Trish says that her hubby owns every movie he likes, but she doesn't. Gotta lay the smack down, Trish. Yeah. Come on.
Gotta get with that, man.
Oh, boy. And then Leanne brought up Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken.
Yes! This one was great because actually one of my best friends loves that movie. And one time we were talking about it and she only had it on VHS or didn't have it anymore. And I found it on Amazon for her and got it for her. So when she said that, I was like, that's amazing that you said this because I've actually bought this for someone.
I've actually gone through this process. This started like a whole conversation. And tell anyone listening to this, tell me if you agree with me or not on this. Horse movies are the worst thing in the world.
Oh, don't say that to Tom.
I know, and I just don't.
Loves horse movies.
Horse movies are the worst. Horses
loves them.
Listen, they're not people. they don't have like they're not like expressive like dogs. They have one face, and like the only people who own them are like super wealthy, or the story is that they're not super wealthy and everybody's mean to them because they're not wealthy.
Yeah, but sometimes all they have is that horse, and they're majestic, you know? Like Hidalgo, it's his one friend.
The way my context, like, of course I never watched Hidalgo because it's a horse movie, but it has the longest, most boring trailer before Pirates of the Caribbean on the Pirates of the Caribbean DVD. It has the longest,
most boring movie. It is so long.
It's the worst.
It's not as bad as Seabiscuit, which my parents also watch regularly. I do not understand that one. I legit fall asleep in the credits in that one. But I think horse movies have a place. I mean, I spent like 5 years looking for April Love for my dad.
I do not know what that is.
It's like an old musical about this weird buggy horse racing deal. But we can only find it in like the European format or whatever on DVD. And so one time I just like magically, I don't even know, just luckily found it. You know, sometimes they just like kind of cycle in.
Yeah.
And I mean, I won like Daughter of the Year because he was like beside himself. Like, how did you find this? I'm like, it's kind of awesome. I don't want to brag, but.
So you literally had to see a guy about a horse.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying. I don't know. They don't appeal to me, but Leanne loves it, and so I'm going out to Texas and going to visit her, and so now I've signed on to watch it, which may have been a poor choice on my part.
Also, though, Jake Ryan.
I will give you that. That's a good
in one of his like 3 movies he's been
exactly
in. I feel
like
you've got to see him.
That's my thing is I'm like if he were in everything I'd be like no I could skip this, but I'm like this is a very small group of things, so
small window.
So okay, I guess I can get down with that, but I don't get horse movies. They just don't appeal to me at all. I don't know, you guys. Not my thing.
We'll see.
Yeah. My mom jumped in on the conversation.
Yeah. I liked her and answered. Yeah,
she has the one she hasn't replaced from VHS, Bed Knobs and Broomsticks and Follow That Bird.
I love Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. We also had that on VHS.
Yep. Yeah, we had that on VHS because that's my mother who answered this. But I like Bed Knobs and Broomsticks is one of my favorite movies of all time, and the other day someone made some sort of reference that led to me singing Portobello Road, but they had never like seen it, and I was like, what? Bed Knobs and Broomsticks is amazing. I feel like the movie is like 10 times longer than I expect every time I watch it, but I'm okay with it. It has so many songs. I think my favorite being the Beautiful Briny Sea one. It's lovely bobbing along.
It's so good.
And it's
got
awesome.
That cool, like, they're in the cartoon world.
Yeah, which was like, you know, just
so advanced.
It's so advanced. And then it gets super creepy and dark because like the thing you forget during this movie is like the premise is it's wartime and these kids are just like sent to the country to live with this woman who doesn't want kids, but it's wartime, so you have to. And so then, like, the Germans come to their town the end of it, and she's a witch, and that's how they have all these sorts of adventures in this. And so she summons all of the, like, old armor from basically like this museum-y castle there with these words Traguna Macoides Tracorum Sedisti, and like it's so creepy, all of these empty soldier armor things marching, and like the Germans are trying to like kill them, but like
and he dumps out the bullets.
Yeah, he dumps the bullet out of the boot, like and they're just like holy crap. It's amazing. It's like it takes a weird dark turn, but it's good. And Follow That Bird is also amazing. I've had recently Long and Brienne came to visit, and I made them watch that with me. So I'm like, you guys, it's a Sesame Street movie, I know, but bear with me. It's so good. And it has so many cameos. It has Waylon Jennings. It has Chevy Chase. It has like so many people in it that as you watch it, you're just like, it's a classic. What are you looking for?
I don't know. I keep feeling like I hear the dog, but I don't know how he would have gotten in.
Are you the only one home?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're solely responsible for making sure that this dog doesn't ruin everything.
Yeah.
Do you want to go look?
No. I'm listening to you.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going.
Okay.
Matt Best.
Matt
Forget
Best.
Matt,
Best.
yeah, Matt.
Oh, yep, there we go.
X-Men First Class, which I think is funny because he owns every single other X-Men movie except for that one.
That's the only one he doesn't have. He even owns the like Origins Wolverine movie.
Yeah.
So was it? And there's a second one of those too, right? I don't think I saw the second one. That's the one where he's like in Asia.
Oh yeah, it is. I didn't see that one either.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I actually didn't mind the first one.
The first one was the one with
Taylor Kitsch.
Yeah, and this was the whole discussion that we had, where we're like, Taylor Kitsch Gambit.
Oh, Gambit. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Gambit.
I miss him already. So yeah, you need to get on that. I bought First Class for myself as a birthday present because it came out on my birthday, whatever year that was. I don't remember what one it was, but I love that movie so much.
Yeah, it's a winner. It's a winner.
Jerry Fuentes says Major Pain.
So good. I can't believe that you thought that's where that line came from.
Well, I mean, keeping in mind Major Pain came out when I was like 8 or something like that. Like, what was really? You think I was going to have that frame of reference before then?
Mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I guess if you were a big fan of things like Roger Miller, you probably would have known.
Yeah, then I would have. Yeah, and the line we're talking about is what we have here is a failure to communicate. What we have here
is a failure to communicate.
Yeah. I was little, and so that was in, like, the commercial or whatever, and so that's where I always thought that it came from. It took a couple years where I was like, oh, that was a reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, go figure. So, yeah. But I haven't seen that, like, since, I would say the last time I saw Major Pain was, like, I was probably, like, 12.
Yeah.
And Jerry said, too, he thought that it came from there, too. He said when he watched Cool Hand Luke in high school, he was like, blah. And then, I love Jen coming in with, wait, Major Pain didn't originate that line? My entire childhood is a lie. Or was I just not allowed to watch most things? A little bit of column A.
A little bit of column B.
Yeah. Jordan, funny enough, said Bronson, probably. I've just never gotten around to it since it's been on Netflix for years. And it, like, literally 12 hours before then, Kristen had messaged me and been like, have you seen Bronson? So it was just sort of like, it was a little random that he brought this up. Like, I've never even heard of this movie before, but it's Tom Hardy.
Or this person.
Who's
actually apparently a real person. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason we brought it up is because Tom Hardy is going to be in Legendary, where he plays...
I think it's just Legend, isn't it?
You're right. It is Legend. He's in a movie called Legend, and he plays...
We're both thinking
British
about it, because there is a
mobsters.
movie called that already, isn't there? It's like a sci-fi or fantasy.
So. I'm sure there is.
Yeah,
British mobster brothers, twin brothers, Reginald and Ronald Cray. And so I was reading the IMDb facts, and it's like, fun fact, the Cray brothers, when they were in prison, knew Charles Bronson, who Tom Hardy also played in a movie. I'm like, well, that was weird. He played both of them. But apparently Charles Bronson's like a super crazy person.
Yeah.
Well, so then I was like all about learning about him because I'm like, what is happening? So he like went to prison, which was only supposed to be for like a couple of years for robbing a bank, or I mean not a bank, like a convenience store. Okay. But then he was like became so super violent in prison that he was there for like 30 years.
Whoa.
And spent a lot of time in solitary confinement because he was like would continually like fight people.
That makes sense because the Bronson movie is directed by the guy who did like Drive and
if you watch the trailer, it's like super bananas.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of uber violent with periods of silence. That's
yeah.
Yep. Sorry, the thing's wigging out again. Okay. But yeah, so it's funny that you brought that up. So we need to watch Bronson, obviously, because Best Tom Hardy Award. By the way, on the Tom Hardy holding dogs Instagram today,
Tom Hardy holding dogs.
I know, it's so great. There was a picture from the movie The Drop that I keep on preaching that everyone needs to see, but it has Noomi Rapace or whatever her name is holding a dog, and Tom Hardy looking at her like really forlorn, and the caption just said, "When other people hold dogs around Tom Hardy."
Oh my God.
It's so good.
I just love it so much. I can't handle it.
It's the greatest thing in the world. If you're not following that Instagram, because I don't even think I brought up the Instagram, because we talked about how there should be a page if it's not one already.
That's true, and then later we found out I think it was.
Then I posted unrelated, like I said that we talked about Tom Hardy in that episode, and Tom Hardy Holding Dogs Instagram liked it, and I was like,
you were like, what? Because that was the episode with.
I think it was the female friendship episode.
I think it was too, because I remember, because I think you then tagged me and Alex. And
yeah.
You were like,
what the heck? Oh my gosh, Tom Hardy in all the things. I proposed to Kristen that in this Legend movie, he should be playing the Krays and Charles Bronson in it, just to like...
all of the other characters.
Yeah, and all the other characters. Like, we're okay with it. I would watch that movie. I would believe it. I can see him. All the women, doesn't even matter. I feel like he could pull it off. So, that's the least feminist thing I'll say today. But, anyways. So, Willie says Dirty Dancing. To which
Classic.
Brittany agreed.
I gave Forrest Gump.
Oh, yeah, and also pointed out that she loves the Meet the Robinson soundtrack as well. So, boom.
That's confusing because that's farther down on the line. I thought she meant Dirty Dancing soundtrack.
Oh, I think she's talking. Yeah.
For me.
Facebook is hard, you guys. Let me tell you.
Facebook is hard.
Dave says heavyweights.
Yeah, classic.
Yes, so good. Quotes little Lars there. I love that movie so much. My sister and I are doing the Wipeout run in San Francisco in August. And so I was like, what am I going to make the team name? What am I going to make the team name? And I was like, Perkis System, obviously.
Avi.
Please.
Obviously.
Please, that is clear. So that's our team name when we run the Wipeout run. Go Team Perkis System. Brittany says she has her two all-time favorites, Dirty Dancing and Top Gun, but the only thing she deemed worthy of immediate buy was Saving Mr. Banks and soon to be Inside Out. Ugh. Seriously. I love that movie so much. I will buy that immediately when it comes out. When it costs like $29 because... Yep. Disney Pixar jerk faces. I hate that.
I wish Target did the same thing with DVDs they do with CDs. Like the first week that a CD comes out, Target sells it for like $5 or $9. It's like really cheap. And then
they're like, people forget that CDs exist, so we can charge whatever we want for them.
Yeah, so I kind of wish they did the same thing with movies. You know, like the first week, give them to you for like half price or something.
That'd be amazing. Because usually I just wait for like Blu-ray sales on Amazon. Because at this point... Blu-rays are cheaper than DVDs half the time, so, you know. Yeah.
Well, if you put it on your wish list, and then you go back and check later, it'll be, it's dropped 60% since you put this on here. I'm like,
yeah! If you wait long enough, it happens, but I don't want to wait when Inside Out comes out. I'm just going to get it. I'm just going to go with it. There you go. Long says Tucker and Dale...
gave us a movie.
You're right, I missed that. I'm sorry. Caitlin, Lego Movie.
That's okay.
And Naftali says Lady Hawk, even though it borders on cheesy. Yeah, I still love it. That's an oldie. I had like a whole conversation with someone about Lady Hawk recently, but I can't remember who it was. I guess it wasn't on the podcast, if you don't know what that is.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
I wish that I could like come up with like lyrics to have to do with Lady Hawk in that song, but I don't have any.
Yeah.
I've got nothing for you. Long says Tucker and Dale versus Evil. And it may have caused him to drink PBR temporarily. You know a movie is influential when you start drinking Pabst as a result. I do love that movie, but it's on Netflix. So, there's that. Vanderhoff says Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, Empire Strikes Back, The Godfather, and Blade Runner. That's rough because none of those stream anywhere.
Also, Empire Strikes Back is like...
like the good one.
Does he have the other two?
Right, like, or maybe he doesn't have any of them, but that's the one that...
they sell them together. Like, they don't sell those movies, like, apart anymore, dude. I don't know. I mean, I've never tried to just buy...
Yeah, I've never attempted it. But, yeah, maybe it's that he doesn't own any of them, but he doesn't mind that he doesn't own Jedi or New Hope. He's just like, I don't have Empire Strikes Back, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, those are like, that's rough. It's the worst when your movies that you really like are ones that like you have to pay to watch them, which is what I do with Empire and Empire Records, not Empire Strikes Back. It's like every time I want to watch it, I rent it on Amazon. Like, it would be so much more cost efficient to just buy it. But
I know.
That's a problem. Let's see here. Mac says Terminator or The Incredibles. I'm surprised about the Terminator one as well. The Incredibles, not so much. But
so good.
What's that?
Ash. I said Incredibles. So good.
So good.
Ash gave us Princess Diaries.
Yes. Oh man.
I do like that one. I actually have both.
Yeah,
so.
I only have the first one. Just, you know what? I think I'm lying. I think I bought the second one recently, and I forgot. But it keeps being on TV, so I just watch it.
I know, you never. That's one of those ones that is constantly on.
Always, it's on all the time. But I did pop in the DVD of the first one recently, like a week or two ago, and just like sit on the floor and watch it and eat snacks, and it was a pretty good decision on my part.
That's one of those ones I put on when I'm like, I do something else. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Nina says she owns everything. Well,
Nina's
lucky
better than
you.
so.
Lucky you. Vanessa, That Thing You Do. Oh my gosh.
I was just okay. So okay. Now I'm gonna forget kind of how the story went.
Okay.
I was talking to my friend, and he had been in LA with some people, and they had been at they're in LA, and there was what's that terrible store that terrible thing? Urban Outfitters. So it was an Urban Outfitters that was like in an old theater, which was like so pretentious. Like, he did everything about it. But on the marquee said something about like, tonight playing is the Wonders, Wonders.
Yep. Hey, that's on
Netters.
Netters.
I was joking. I was like, it's one, like the what? The only. They like did this whole big bat, and this girl that we were standing with was like, I don't know what are we talking about? I was like,
what?
The Wonders, like from That Thing You Do, and she's like, no. And so we started singing the song, and she's like, yeah, no. And I was like, yeah, you need to watch that immediately. Because you can't be in pop culture and not have seen that. And she's like, is that the one with Tom Hanks?
Is that the one with Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
Kids these days, man.
I know. You know, Mac's never seen it either, and it's problematic. Consider ditching him.
Maybe it's because they're young. This was like she's like probably like Mac's age.
Yeah. I mean, I will grant it came out like 96 or something like that. So, when you're barely born, I guess you wouldn't see it. But this is clearly a sign that That Thing You Do needs to be on TV more. And clearly needs to be available everywhere because it's so good. And I think this is one of those movies.
Because there's a million on here.
Oh, are there? Okay. But I do want to say That Thing You Do, I think, is one of those movies that will stand the test of time. Like, yeah. Okay. So we won't talk too much about this.
It still has. I still think people like it.
Yeah. Billy put a ridiculous one called Mosquito. It looks terrifying. Cindy, To Kill a Mockingbird. John, Unaltered Star Wars. Oh. Yeah, that's a big problem.
You and everybody else. John.
Yeah, everybody's with you on that one. Seth says The Replacements, but then he realized he actually does own The Replacements. So, good job. Way to fix that real quick. Talia says Sweet Home Alabama. Sweet Home Alabama is great. I think we've talked about that recently as well.
I need passport to come down here. Baby in a bar.
So good. Ben Christensen says, what about Bob and That Thing You Do? I own both of those. Jen Smith was thinking about it all day, and she came up with Apollo 13, National Treasure, Robin Hood Men in Tights, and ones that she only owns on VHS: Armageddon, Can't Hardly Wait, Drop Dead Gorgeous, Dumb and Dumber, First Night, Heart and Souls, Matrix, Memento, Simon Birch, Spaceballs, and Strange Brew.
Whoa!
Woo! Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot. I actually made a Memento reference the other day. This mom came by and was like writing something on her hand. She's like, if I don't write it down, I forget. I'm like, oh, like a Memento. She's like, what? I'm like, the guy's wife is dead and he has this memory thing. And I'm like explaining it, and she's looking at me like, nope. I'm like thinking, this is kind of a dark premise to be explaining to this mother right now. But now I'm doing it. So here we go. She's like, oh, kind of like 50 First Dates. I was like, yeah, with the murder mystery.
Like 50 First Dates. Oh my God, that's amazing. It's the only time in history those two movies have ever been compared to each other. Johnny says Eurotrip. His mom threw it out. Sad. Let's see.
Oh, on purpose, or?
Probably. If you've ever seen Eurotrip, I would not be surprised. Rebecca says, Bang Bang, You're Dead. That's dark. My Boyfriend's Back, Flowers in the Attic, Goodwill Hunting, and Stick It, among others. Jomo says...
Gymnast one, right?
Yeah. Jomo says The Breakfast Club, because, of course, child of the 80s. Mel says The Babysitter's Club movie. I definitely own that one. That was one of the first DVDs I ever bought. Nicholas Campbell says 2046. I love this description too. This is like perfect. I listened to the soundtrack, saw it twice in the theater, spent most of my film criticism papers in college talking about it, and In the Mood for Love, and yet for some reason I've never owned it. I totally have those movies where it's just like, it's like a thing I talk about all the time, and it's like a constant reference, and yet I don't have it. So that hit me. Louisa said Joe versus the Volcano, which I watched all the time when I was a kid. It was... my favorite.
I'm actually, I'm going to throw mine in here that I haven't seen, that I love, that I don't own, which is You've Got Mail.
Oh,
put that in there.
That's a good one.
I constantly use those lines, you know?
Yes, I know.
Like, and it's like the weird ones that I use, which are like completely unnecessary, where I'm like, 152 pot marks on his face. 152 people who think he looks like a Clark bar. And then people are like, what's happening right now? I'm like, never mind.
My most common quote from that movie is like, this place is a tomb. I'm going to the nut shop where it's fun. And a lot of times nobody has any idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, but that's a great one.
Great one. Okay.
I'm with that. And then we have a couple more. Daniel says Three Amigos. Yes. Eric says The Dark Knight. Yep, that's a good one. I think I have that. And Lydia says The Lego Movie and Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Yeah, the Lego Movie got a couple shouts here. I feel like...
Well, that one's like one of the Dark Horse movies.
Yeah. Well, and recent ones, I feel like you get a little time on that, because they're expensive when they first come out. So, you have to budget for it and all that. Whereas, like, the older ones, it's like, when you think about it, I wonder how many people who wrote these things down went and bought them on Amazon afterwards. Like, they're like, I just realized I didn't have this, and I need it, and went and bought it. So, hopefully that inspired them.
A sweet spot between it being really hard to find. Like, what was it? Was it Now and Then we were talking about where they, like, don't even make it? It was really... No, not Now and Then. There was something that was really expensive. You asked for saying you really wanted to buy it, but it was like $20.
Oh, yeah. I think it was Gold Diggers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And you're like, they don't really make it. They, like, make it specifically for you. And you're like, what? And so there's a sweet spot between it being, like, really cheap and being expensive again.
Exactly. It's like a Disney Vault type thing,
Yeah.
But yeah, so... we were excited that people were super into that question and everything. Yeah. So if you missed this question, because it wasn't, I didn't intend for it to be the question of the week. It just sort of happened. So I didn't post it on the Fan Cave page. So if you didn't get a chance to answer it and you still want to, feel free to tweet us, put it on the Facebook page, whatever. And we will share yours as well.
For sure.
Yeah. But we do have some pop culture news as well. It was a slow week. This is why we determined to talk about the question so much, because we're like, there's not a lot going on this week. It's a random week at the end of June / it's the first day of July.
It is the first day of July.
Crazy.
Also, the first day of the Battle of Gettysburg.
It is. It's true. It is that. I feel like I need like a popper. Yeah, neither of us made the right popper sound, but that's okay. Anyway.
But finally, so Mr. Robot has been on. Tell us about that, Corey. You've been watching it.
Mr. Robot. Oh my gosh, you guys. You just, we mentioned it when it was coming out. We saw trailers for it because we love Rami Malek from The Pacific, when he was super creepy. And I mean also from Night at the Museum, where he's like handsome but creepy. And he is in this new show, apologies, on USA, which has already been renewed for a second season after one episode. So that's awesome. It's him and Christian Slater and lots of other people, but he's like basically this guy who works for a big corporation that he hates. And one of the greatest things about this is there's no subtlety to it. So like the big evil corporation in it is called Evil Corp. So that's kind of fun. But he works for this big corporation, and he ends up, like, basically it starts them hacking into this, like, coffee shop's network that he's been going to. He's sitting down with the owner, and this is sort of how you're introduced to him, essentially. And he's like, yeah, I really liked how fast the Wi-Fi was in here. You have, like, this, like, crazy fiber line or whatever. And he's like, why would a coffee shop need this? So I dug a little deeper. And he's like, your real name's this. You are running, like, kiddie porn out of this place. And sort of gives this guy this moment where he thinks that he can, like, he's not gonna, like, turn him in, everything's gonna be okay. And then, like, all of a sudden the cops pull up and stuff. Like, he makes him think that he can barter with him and, like, get money. And then the cops pull up and he's like, not interested, and he leaves, and this guy is busted, you know? But that puts him on the radar for this other group that wants him to do bigger things. So he feels like he's being followed, and you're not sure what's going on, and there's, like, all this stuff, and they, like, draft him basically to... What they want to do is destroy the debt. So basically that the United States is crippled by debt, and they want him to help go into, like, the bank systems and erase everybody's debt. And it's super cool. It's got this, like, really neat, like, espionage-y, spy-y feel to it. It's also a little bit fast-paced. Like, well, it's like... It's not hard to follow, for one thing. It reminds me of Rubicon, the show that James Badgedale is on AMC. But just, like, with that vibe of coolness of, like, a spy type thing, you know. And, you know, it's a fun, you know, relatable sort of premise of, like, you know, people are having a hard time. How do we fix it? It's like, this is their damn the man sort of thing they do. So I recommend it. Airs Wednesday nights. That's tonight, you guys, on USA. Watch it. Yeah. But Kristen, on the other hand, saw Spy, which I still have not seen.
I did. I went and saw Spy with my roommate and my friend Jill. Mm-hmm. And it was really funny. Like, oh man. I think it was Duncan, right, that was telling us, like, I laughed so hard. Yeah. There was a couple moments where I'm like, oh, I don't want to give anything away, which is hard because I feel like there are these parts where I'm like, Jason Statham is like, you just have to watch it. Okay. I really, really enjoyed it. It was really funny. And now, you know, for me, even, like, language doesn't usually bother me too much, but it came up where I'm like, okay, we get it.
Okay, yeah.
You've said that word a million times. But it actually ended up being this really great, not quite buddy comedy, but she's got, and in the trailer, there's, like, that tall British woman that's, like, walking around with her, and she's, so, if you guys know the premise, is, like, she was, like, a, you know, kind of analyst person that stays back behind, and then she gets kind of thrust into going out into the field, and so then her person that sits behind the desk for her is, like, British woman who's her friend, and she's, like, hysterical, and they're just amazing, and Melissa McCarthy is so great in it.
Oh, man.
Like, really great. And Rose Byrne is just awesome.
I love her.
I liked it a lot. Me too. And she just is really funny. And
yeah. She looks like you would break her if you touched her too hard, but she is...
Yeah, totally.
She's a delight.
And Jason Statham is really funny in it. And there's this other guy, I don't know who he is. He looked familiar, and I meant to actually IMDb him. He plays this, like, Italian, like, douchebag sort of, but he's, like, really funny. I don't know, I really did enjoy it, and I laughed hard at things, like, was, like, bent over for a couple of scenes where I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening?
I need to see it so bad.
Yeah, so I would definitely recommend it. Just was a good, fun spy movie.
Did you see the thing that I sent you a couple weeks back, or like a week or two back, of Jason Statham playing the game with Jimmy Fallon with the big hand?
Oh, I remember you sending it to me. I actually don't think I ever ended up watching it.
Oh my gosh. It's just the greatest, because Jason Statham is like, he's like a really giddy, sort of like fun guy, but he's also just naturally terrifying. And so it feels like the beginning of that trailer for the Whitey Bulger movie, where, like, you know, it's like he's being really, like, jovial, but you never know when he's gonna suddenly, like, you know, murder you. And so it's like they're playing this game where it's like I can't even remember exactly what the premise is, but if you do something wrong or whatever, you end up slapping the other person with a big foam hand. And Jason Statham's just like so manic about it that like you're just like he's going to murder Jimmy Fallon. He's going to straight up like Jimmy Fallon's gonna hit him with the foam hand, and then he's just going to like rip his spine out. Like, but he's
gonna roadhouse him.
Yeah. Exactly. But it's so funny nonetheless. I couldn't sleep one night, and so I just watched every single Jimmy Fallon game that he's ever played with a celebrity, and that was one of my favorites that I came across.
So good.
So Jason Statham, you're all right in our book.
Well, and then we also saw there's a cut skit from SNL where Chris Pratt was Jason impression, and he had these steak sandwiches called Jason Statham's Jason Steakums. And it was completely over the top.
Yeah.
But it was just enjoyable.
Like, I understand why they cut it.
Totally understand why they cut it.
It's so funny, nonetheless.
Yeah.
It's like Jason Statham's are really dry, so they bring in Jason Statham's Jason Steakums, Jason Drinkums.
Yeah.
And it's so bananas. It just keeps going. You're like, who thinks of things like this? Like,
I know.
I wonder if Chris Pratt was like, I can kind of do a Jason Statham impression, or if someone just really wanted to see, like, let's try it.
That's what we can do this year.
I've just really wanted to use this sketch.
It was pretty good.
Yeah. Great news, everybody. Great news. Agent Carter. We've been worried. Our hearts have been a little troubled because she's moving to LA. And we were worried that might mean she was leaving behind her faithful companions, Jarvis and Sousa. Turns out she's not. Yeah. We get to keep them. I'm so excited.
I know. I am very excited. Honestly, of all of the characters in the show, I was the most worried about the two of them.
Yeah.
Because they were both so great.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Chad Michael Murray's great. Everybody was great. But these were the two that I think, provide that sort of extra heart and soul to it. I mean, and Lindsay Fonseca was good, all that. Like, everybody was great on this show. It's just that the dynamics between those three people were
Jarvis
special.
for sure. I mean, I would have been disappointed if Sousa hadn't made the move, but I would have been, like, devastated if Jarvis had. Because I feel like they kind of got to that cop part of the show. You know what I mean? That finally was, like, really just them two against bad guys. He was the only one that believed whatever. So, for me, I'm like, that would have been a real miss. Now she's got to build that whole thing up again with someone else. And she had finally kind of gotten him to loosen up a teensy bit, I don't know. It's just... Exactly. I kind of feel like... I don't know. He kind of came into his own there kind of in the last episode and sort of figured it out. And I don't know. So I'm glad. It's very, very good news. And I don't actually know even when the new season is. I don't even think they've started filming or anything. So.
No, because I think she posted an Instagram or something the other day that was like, I can't wait to get back to work.
Oh, I saw that. It was on Twitter.
Yeah, on Twitter, that was it. So,
She's just adorable on Twitter, by the way. She's like one of my favorite people. Because lots of times she just one time I think she went and saw Avengers by herself in the middle of the day, and she was like, here I am, like took a picture, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so cute.
Can you imagine you're just like sitting in the theater and you're like, she looks so much like Agent Carter, doesn't she?
Yeah.
So crazy. Do you get that a lot? Do people tell you?
Yeah, all the time.
They do.
Maybe she does the, what's it called, or who was it? What was that guy's name? Alfie, right? From
Alfie?
Can't Get Away with Murder. And he would just ride the bus, and the guy's like, yeah, there's a guy that looks just like you. That's on.
That's right. Yeah. Alfie Enoch.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's totally what I would do. Like, I love that, especially with him, though, because it's like, he is a very distinct-looking human being. Like, that long neck and big black British guy. Although he's not British on the show, so I guess, if you'd never seen Harry Potter or anything,
and he
wouldn't
was
think anything of it. Yeah. But I feel like Haley Atwell, she could probably blend in. Like, if she's not all done up.
I know, and I've always said this about her. I wouldn't recognize her for a while because I just felt like she belonged in that era with lipstick and hair. And so when she was at, like, the premiere and stuff, I'm like, who's that girl? Oh, it's Haley. And then there was that story that came out how she had to go get her picture taken for her driver's license, but she was like in between something for Agent Carter, and so she was in her Agent Carter like hair and makeup, and that's what her license picture
That's
is.
amazing.
I'm like, I'm so glad, because that's legit how I see you. You know?
That's the true you, Haley.
Yeah,
right there.
true you. And she always posts really great fan art and stuff from fans, and really, her and Chris Evans always have like adorable banter going on. I'm like, stop it
so much. Just get married already.
Yes, come on.
Just get married. Yeah. So we're excited about that. That's what we're doing.
So good.
Okay, so I didn't. This is another. Kristen sent me a thing, and I didn't watch it.
That's it.
So this is just Kristen and I explaining things to each other today.
That's good. It's good times.
Yeah.
So I was on IMDb because Corey had mentioned like, oh, there wasn't really anything that happened. I'm like, something had to have happened. So I was on IMDb, and there is like a Rocky spin-off. Okay, so it's called Creed. Oddly enough.
Yep. Go figure.
And so it's Michael B. Jordan playing Apollo Creed's son, who's who's in boxing. He's like a boxer.
Right.
And he goes to Rocky for training or something. I don't know the premise was there wasn't a lot of talking. So it was kind of like, he looked like he was already a boxer, but then he shows up and it looks like Rocky owns a restaurant. I don't know. Felicia Rashad plays his mom.
Wow.
I was like, they're going for it here. And so I don't really understand. I don't know if he's just like an up and coming boxer, if he's trying to win something special, or if he just wants to be the best he can be. Anyway.
This is coming out?
Yes, there's a trailer.
Really?
Yes. And so it's
so weird.
Yeah, and like I said, doesn't seem to be like a real. It just is like former heavyweight champion Rocky Balboa serves as a trainer and mentor to Adonis, is that how you say it? It's a Greek god. Adonis, is that how you say it? They didn't ever say his name in the show either. I'm like, I need like a
pronunciation guide, please.
Pronunciation guide. The son of his late friend and former rival Apollo Creed.
I like that. Apollo Adonis. Yep.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
I see what you're doing there. So anyway,
that's did it look good? That's my question. Did the trailer look good?
It looked pretty cool.
It's Michael B. Jordan.
The music was cool, and Michael B. Jordan's like so hot. Yeah. Where I'm like, probably. And it's from the director of Fruitvale Station, which I thought was interesting.
That's a weird overlap.
Legitimate movie, whereas this, I didn't even know this was happening. You know.
It's the Rocky movie we've all been waiting for.
The Rocky movie we didn't know we needed.
Yeah. Oh man,
about one of your favorite dead secondary characters.
Pretty much. In fact, I would say he is your favorite dead secondary character in Rocky. I mean,
yeah. Totally. Well, I don't know. What about Mick?
Okay.
Mick Cutman.
Touche.
So, anyway, so that's happening apparently, and then also I actually learned right after that I sent you that is that they made a sequel to Olympus Has Fallen called.
Wait, already made a sequel?
Oh, it's called London Has Fallen.
That seems like a downgrade.
I don't know.
You go from Olympus to London. Is it still the same people?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Really?
Yep. Gerard Butler, Aaron Eckhart.
That reminds me of like that it was like celebrities reading mean tweets when it's like does Gerard Butler have a big college loan that he has to pay off, so that's why he takes all these shite movies. He's like, nope, I just make shite movies.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing. So, I mean, from what I've heard, Olympus Has Fallen is great. I haven't watched it yet, but I just don't like if you have a sequel that's come out already to that feels rushed and unnecessary. 2013. Yeah. I don't know. That's like you started making it like basically as soon as you finished the other one. You're like, people liked this. Yeah. Let's just do it again. Again. But did that look any good or no?
I don't know. That also didn't have a lot of talking in it. It looked like there was lots of things blowing up, you know.
Okay, as one.
Gerard Butler and Aaron Eckhart are also just very attractive, so they're like running around looking concerned. So I'm like, no.
Aaron Eckhart is like so weird in real life, though. Like, it colors the way I look at him in movies because he's just so weird. Like, just watch an interview with him, and you sit there and he's. I don't know, he's one of those people who sits, like, wide-eyed when you ask him a question, and, like, answers in weird ways and seems like, I don't know, he would live in a hippie commune and maybe like be the leader, and I don't know, he got a weird vibe about him, and so every time I watch a movie with him, like he's a good actor and everything, but all I see is just,
I would not have guessed that about him. He's weird, like
you don't think he'd be weird, but no, he's super weird. So,
all right.
Yeah, so there's that. Hey, did you see Shia rapping, by the way? Speaking of weird people.
Yeah, no. But I did see that someone made him into all 13 doctors.
I did see that. Yeah, that was
unnecessary.
Yeah, that was a weird thing that got a lot of traction.
Yeah. I mean, it was on my trending thing on Facebook. I'm like,
constantly. Really? I was like, I don't...
That's what's happening this week?
Yeah, that's how slow a week it was, you guys, that Shia LaBeouf as the Doctor in fan art was trending on Facebook for like 4 days.
And he was rapping. And what's with the braid? Is that an extension? His hair can't possibly be that long. Right?
I don't know. Well, because I saw another picture of him somewhere else that he had the same braid. He has it in this video where he's rapping. He has it in like publicity shots. I'm guessing it's for like a movie or something. I don't think this is just a weird Shia thing. I think it must be for something. I don't know. Maybe he does.
No, maybe not though. I mean, he did sit with a paper bag on his head for a while.
Yeah. So I guess I'm not sure if this is an upgrade or a downgrade from a paper bag, but yeah. You do you, Shia. Yeah, that's.
We're not going to start questioning you. I mean,
yeah. This is the wrong thing to start questioning. This is the most normal thing that he's in the news for in a long time. Yeah. But yeah, so there's all that. That's our week in pop culture. You guys. I mean, obviously other things have gone on, like marriage equality and stuff like that, but this is a pop culture show, so congratulations on that. It's just, not super. We don't have a lot of pop culture to reference about it, but, it's a thing.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of something.
Yeah. We're doing the best we can with what we got.
What we've been given.
Yeah. And hey, sorry about the audio issues in this episode. I don't know. It seems to be Skype that hates us. I don't know what's going on.
We just need to wait for Apple to come out with something that's better than Skype.
Yeah.
Would that be FaceTime?
I guess that would be FaceTime, but you can't.
I'm just saying that because remember Apple Music launched and people are like all into it. It's like going to take over the world or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll stick with my Spotify.
It's supposed to be better than Spotify.
I don't like change. I'm just going to stick with Spotify.
I also feel like it's one more thing I have to learn. Right. I can barely figure out Spotify.
Exactly. I'm almost proud at this point of the fact that I have like weaned Apple things out of my life. Like it wasn't an intentional decision, but now I just don't have any Apple things. And except this janky computer that I record this on that breaks down every time I try to use it. And so like now I'm just kind of like I'm not like a vehement PC versus Apple type person or whatever. Like they have their things, you use them for different things, whatever. Yeah. But I'm like almost just opposed to adding another Apple thing to my life when I've done such a good job of not feeding that beast. Like I'm not paying for Apple things.
Skynet, man.
Skynet, right? Google is my only Skynet, all right? I can't have two masters, Apple. Google owns me. They have my thing. Anyway, okay, yeah. That's this week.
Thanks for joining us this week.
Have a great 4th of July if you're here in America. I mean, have a great 4th of July wherever you are. Have a great Independence Day if you're here in America.
Yes, make sure you celebrate the adoption of the Declaration of Independence.
Yes, and drive safely. Yep. And drink responsibly. Mm-hmm. And be kind to your neighbors.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. I feel good about that.
I like that. Anyway.
Welcome.
I feel like I didn't know where to go from there. Here we are. This has been us. So you can find us on all the things that you can usually find us on. Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes. You can follow us on Electric Fan Cave on Facebook and Electric Fan Cave on Twitter. You can also follow Corrigan and I on Twitter.
And Periscope.
Well, you can follow Corrigan on Periscope. I think that's all I have. I don't know. Did I miss any other platforms? I think I should know by now. We say them at the end of every episode.
Whoa! That was crazy. Your, like, voice thing, like, it got all glitchy, but it sounded like you were talking like an auctioneer. It's like, I think it was... That was amazing. But no, I think you've nailed it, Kristen. And
so we nailed it. So
I will see you this weekend. I'll see the rest of you in the internet.
Yes.
So for this week, I'm Corrigan Vaughn.
In the internet. And I'm Kristen Lateral.
Peace out, everybody.
Take it easy, kids.
I feel like
I'm in a weird... Why do I feel weird in this picture? Do I look weird to you? I feel like I'm tall. Should I lower this chair?